Hello, everyone. Welcome to Womb to Tomb Apologetics. Today, we are doing a 1-year celebration on YouTube. So, today's stream is going to be pretty low key. It's going to be pretty, kind of informal. But today, I just wanted to go over some criticism to a recent video I posted, as well as some of the behind the scenes stuff with the videos that I made this year, kind of going through our memories, as well as some of the upcoming content that I'd like to make. And then at the end, I'll be happy to answer questions if there are enough people who are watching and want to answer a question. Feel free to ask your question at any point in the stream, and I'll do it at the end. Or if it's a question about something I'm specifically talking about, I'm happy to address that too. But hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun here. Subscribe if you're new, and let's get into it. So, first things first, I just got done doing a talk on pro-life apologetics at a church. That was pretty fun. I didn't record the whole thing, but I do have it ready for recording, so I will redo it and record myself doing it. I did record some of the Q&A, so I might share that if people are interested. But yeah, here we go. We got a friend in the chat. Congrats on not being banned from YouTube for a year, man. Yeah, that's true. There we go. I'm happy about it too. We also have people saying they've liked the video. Definitely make sure you do that. That helps me out. So, all right. So I just got done doing a pro-life apologetics talk. I might upload that, so you might be seeing some pro-life stuff coming soon. Obviously, I'll be doing all my other regular content too, so that'll still be coming. But let me talk about a video that I made recently that got, we'll just say, quite a bit of attention. And this was a criticism of Kristi Burke, who is a lovely atheist friend of ours. She obviously believes in atheism. We do not, but basically I made a video criticizing her, and it got 1,300 views. And I actually privated it part of the way through, so it probably would have gotten a lot more than that many views. It probably could have gotten thousands and thousands of views, but I privated it, and I'll talk about why that is. The video got quite a bit of, we'll say, negative reception. How about that? Negative reception. And yes, that was my most viewed video. Yeah, but like I said, some negative reception. Now, part of the reason why that was because I put in the hashtag like atheists. So you're supposed to put tags in your videos to help YouTube know where to advertise it. And some atheists were nice enough, they were very friendly, and they said that, you might want to take that tag off because it seems like it's advertising it pretty much exclusively to atheists, and all the atheists were getting really angry and not very happy about the video. And some of the criticisms they made were, they were somewhat legitimate. A lot of it, though, was kind of just angry and mean and just not very nice. But that's okay. And what I wanted to talk about first, as I'm trying to figure out how to share my screen, I have some images I want to show you guys. We'll see if I can actually get that working. Lord Jesus, help me. But basically, one of the things that taught me is about how quickly fame can come to you. Now, I don't want to like toot my own horn. I know it's not like I'm not like some famous person or something like that. But basically, what I and this is honest to God, this is what I was expecting with that video. I said to myself before I posted this, I will be happy if this video gets 35 views. That's what I said I'd be happy with. If this gets 35 views, I will be happy. I'll be content with that. And it ended up getting 1,300. And that should just sort of be a quick bit of information that you might want to know before you watch it, because I'm expecting this thing not to get a whole lot of eyes on it. If I had known that 1,300 people would have watched it, I might have gone over it a few more times and kind of, let's say, just shaped it up just a little bit, made sure like, okay, yeah, what would someone say in response to this and whatnot. But let's be really, really clear on what I mean when I say this phrase or that phrase. That's kind of important, right? Let's make sure we do that. When you only think it's going to be 35 people, you don't really go over and thoroughly examine it that much. Another thing I'd like to say is that it was meant to be a little bit funny and goofy, and I think that was lost on some of the angry people in the comments. They thought some people said you're picking on Kristi. And as I said, I think she's very sweet. I said that in the description of the video. I also said that in the video itself. I said, yeah, just so you know, Kristi's very sweet. I think she's great. I think she's a wonderful young lady. I think I differ with her on some things, but that's okay. I mean, we differ on things. That's fine. People differ on stuff, and that's what guides these sorts of conversations. That's great. Let's do more of that. So I think a lot of people who criticize hadn't really listened very carefully. We had people who said, you didn't respond to, any of the criticisms that she said. Someone said you didn't really respond to her second criticism of Christianity. And again, I think there's some legitimacy to that, but I also think that that's another person who just wasn't really paying attention, because like I literally said in the video, and I'm not frustrated, I'm just pointing out, like, you need to watch the video, you need to listen to the video before you make a criticism. I mean, I literally said in the video, I'm not going to respond super well to criticism number 2, just because it's not the point for which I wanted to make this video. The reason why I actually included point number 2 anyway was so that people wouldn't criticize me for cutting out a point. They'd be like, oh, you skipped from 1 to 3. You must have been really scared of number 3. And it wasn't that I was scared of it. It was just she brought up a very good argument. And I said that. I said, this is a great argument she's actually bringing up here. It's called divine hiddenness. It's a very good argument for atheism. And I just said, this is something that I'd like to devote a specific video to at another time. I don't have I'm trying to keep this under 2 minutes, in my responses. So I just, I don't have 2 minutes to do a whole debunking of that. And so I'll just save it for another video. And I literally said that in the video. And people were still saying, well, you didn't respond. Well, I literally told you that wasn't the point. I'll respond to it another time. And that's okay. That's okay. Also, we have one of my newest subscribers here, Godly Nipple Hair. Nice to see you. I'm glad all of us with the fun names are on here. I can't tell you how many people have subscribed to my channel just because they liked the name. And they're like, I'm going to check out your content. Or I shouldn't say they subscribe, but they checked out my content just because they liked the name. So I'm glad we got Godly Nipple here to support me. So thank you. All right. Anyway, so, some of that, some of the criticisms were legitimate. Some of the criticisms were less legitimate. It was meant to be sort of a funny, goofy video that only got 35 views, and it blew up. So, that's what I'd like to say. Unfortunately, I'm having trouble presenting some pictures. I wanted to show you the thumbnail of the video. I wanted to show you some of the comments and my responses to them, but I guess that's just not working. That's okay. I'll just tell you what they were. And then we'll move on to the next section. In this video, I'd like to talk about, again, this video, the criticisms of it, and then I'd like to shift over to the content I made this year and the content I have coming up, and then I'll answer some questions. I already have one question in the chat I see, so I'll do that one later. But basically, the last thing, or one of the last things, is that it's meant to be a goofy video. It had a lot of memes in it. I think some people maybe took that wrong. So maybe I'll try to be a little more, give a disclaimer next time. Like, hey, everybody, we're just goofing around. I think that's one of the unique things about my channel that people really enjoy is that, hey, we get to learn apologetics, we get to learn how to defend the faith and talk with people who disagree and people who do agree and learn things and learn how to persuade. But you also get to have like kind of a good time while we do it. Let's just have some fun. Let's just goof around a little. Have some memes in there. It's kind of a Gen Z channel, but anybody can subscribe, of course. And then one thing someone said was, in fact, a number of people brought this up. They said, your video is committing the no true Scotsman fallacy. Now, I'd like to respond to this. I think there might be a teeny bit of truth to that in the sense that I might have overemphasized her wording. So she, throughout the video numerous times, said, what did she say? She said, Christianity teaches these things. She said Christianity. She didn't say my church all the time. Sometimes she did, but she didn't say my church. She wasn't saying fundamentalists teach this. She said Christianity teaches this. And that's where I took a lot of my issue with her video. And that's why I wanted to make the video, because I'm like, well, that's not entirely true. Christianity doesn't teach some of these things. And I don't think that's a no true Scotsman fallacy, just to say, well, I think you're overplaying your hand here. Now, if what she really meant by that, and perhaps it was, maybe I misunderstood, was that, okay, this is just my church, is what I grew up with. This is what fundamentalism teaches or something. That's fine and that's fair. And I'd actually stand by you in criticizing that and actually say I would agree with her on a lot of the things that she said. Though if she wants to plaster all of Christianity with things that are quite literally not taught in Christianity, I don't think that's fair. And I think it's fair of me to point that out. I don't think that's a fallacy. For instance, one thing she said was, and to be fair, this might have been something about her church, but she said, how many Christians, no, she actually said, how many Christians, abuse their wives or M-word children, and, their congregation doesn't care about it. She said, at my church, if you abused your wife, as long as you had faith, you were good in their book. That's what she said. That's just categorically not taught in the Bible. The opposite is taught. When she says you're okay in their book, well, my point is that their book certainly isn't the Bible, because the Bible tells husbands to love their wives. And so I would want to ask the critic, I would want to say, well, do you think that it's loving to abuse your spouse? And the answer to that is, well, no, that's not. So categorically, that's not taught in Christianity. Now, maybe at a certain church they do that, that calls themselves a church, but that's literally denying the teachings of the Bible. So I don't know what to tell you there. There's some legitimate criticism. There's maybe a little bit of misunderstanding. There's a little mixture. That's fine. But I'm still going to keep the video up. I think it's a fine video. I watched it. I rewatched it. And I didn't really see that much I would have changed, honestly. I think it was pretty good. And I think the jokes were pretty good too. They really tried to go for the general. Again, there's fair criticisms you can make of fundamentalism. I'm happy to do that with Kristi, but I just don't want them to go too far with it. Go and say, oh, well, this is what Christianity teaches, because that's just categorically not true. Christianity teaches the opposite of that. I can't believe people didn't notice the jokes, right? It was full of memes. Maybe people took it as sarcastic and mean-spirited. It wasn't meant to be that way. It's just, we're just having a good time. We're just goofing around, I recommend people go watch, and I'll link it for you, my playlist of funniest shorts. I like to put out YouTube shorts, and some of those shorts are just goofy animations and things like that. We're just joking around. We're just having a good time. It's not meant to be at anybody's expense. We're just having fun. But that's fair. Lastly, I'd like to correct an error in that video. Now, I did correct this in the description of the video. And whenever I come across an error that I make in a video, I'll always put it in the description. So I recommend people go and look at the description. Sometimes I'll put it in the comments as well. But I said something untrue about our wonderful atheist friend Brandon. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know we've collaborated with Dear Woke Christian, Jason over there. He's great. You should go subscribe to him. But he and I have sort of done some debunkings or some responses, I guess you could call them, to Brandon from Mindshift. He's an atheist YouTuber. At one point in the video, I said that Brandon lied about something. This is actually not true. I retract that statement. He did not lie. Now, he did make a mistake, and I operated off of his mistake. So it was sort of like this inception of like mistakes, like a layer of a mistake on top of a mistake. So we both made an error there. It wasn't anything that contributed to the main point. So thankfully it didn't, like, if it was something like that, I would have probably taken the video down and re-uploaded it if it was something that major. But he basically said that Jesus said something in a verse, and I went online and I looked up the verse. Okay, I read it, and I'm like, well, Jesus didn't say that there. And then I kept reading the context after, still didn't say it. And being the fool that I was, I did not, and I totally should have done this, it was totally on me. I didn't look at the context beforehand. And it turns out the prior verse, he did say something at least approximating what Brandon accused him of saying. So I retract that. He was something about like abandoning family. Again, I think in context, I think he's misunderstanding it, but fair enough. I made an error, and I want to maintain integrity. And I think this brings up another thing just before we move on to the next section of the recent controversy with our wonderful friend Gavin Ortland. And there's this book out called Shepherds for Sale, and he's been, according to him, misrepresented in that book. And I think this has been really a learning experience for everyone in the Christian community about what it means to have integrity. People are calling Megan Basham, the author of the book Shepherds for Sale, to retract her statements about Ortland, that she misrepresented him, that she should reprint the book and have him write like a foreword for it and things like that. And with what I've heard about the book, it actually sounds really excellent. I'm on Gavin's side for that. I think she misrepresented him in chapter 1. And people are saying, well, Gavin Ortland doesn't have integrity. He's saying that Christians who don't believe in climate change are not legitimate Christians. And he was saying, well, no, I didn't say that. I just said we should investigate the issue. That was his point. And basically, I bring that up to say, I think we all need to guard our integrity. I think it's important that we let people know. If I'm saying something wrong, I want to correct it. If I make an error, whether it's in a book or on a video, I'm going to correct it. I'm going to let you know. So I always do that. Thankfully, any errors I've ever made are extremely minor, little things like, oops, I thought I misunderstood what someone was saying, or maybe I missed a number on something, little things like that, nothing too crazy. So that's good. All right. Yeah, that's about all I wanted to say on that. Don't take, those criticisms too seriously there. But yeah, it's been a roller coaster ride. Thinking a video is going to get 35 views and it gets 1,300, and probably would have gotten more if I wouldn't have privated it for a little while. I was kind of tired of getting a notification for a comment every like 5 seconds, but I probably won't do that next time. But yeah, it's been a learning experience, and I'm glad I at least ended it on a high note. Anyway, let's go on to the next section of the video, which is behind the scenes content for this year. Oh, also, actually, before I do that, I'll tell you some of the comments that people gave. Unfortunately, I don't know how to share them with you guys. I wish I could. One person said he used Jesus' name in vain, and then he said, "You are pathetic, dude." And the guy's name, I don't know if it's like bad to say what his name is, but his name is Need Some Nuance, which I thought was kind of ironic. You're supposed to be talking about nuance, and then you're calling people pathetic and things like that. That's not really nice. And that was literally his entire comment. Jesus' name in vain. You are pathetic, dude. And then I just responded, Muhammad, you are epic, gal, which I thought was kind of funny, and I made a community post about that. Just, you gotta have a sense of humor. I mean, again, the whole thing is about be having a little bit of a goofy side to you. Then another guy, and he was thankfully a little nice otherwise, but he commented, "You need to get your T levels checked based on the video I made. You need to get your T levels checked." And I just responded with a sobbing emoji and then T emojis. So, yeah. And thankfully, he actually had a good sense of humor. He responded to that. He said, "I'm glad you can take it in jest. LOL. God bless." So, there you go. Fair enough. But yeah, so sometimes you just got to pwn on the haters. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's go into the next section of the video, which is about sort of behind the scenes content on what I made this year. What did I do this year? What was the content I made? So why don't I just kind of like look on my phone right now and take a peek at what we got. So this year, I made some pro-life videos. I will be making more of those this year. As I said, did a whole speech today on that subject, and I'll record the slides and the presentation, and I'll share that with you guys. That'll be fun. One of my favorite videos this year was it was called "The Most Lethal Argument Against Feminism," and I'm really proud of that one. I think that's probably one of the top videos I made this year. I think that was fantastic. I think we had a great time with it. Basically, the idea was the normativeness of sex differences. And basically, I just kind of go over how strange it would be on the feminist view of things, right? Because the feminist view is that men and women really aren't different. That all these differences, men, boys like to play with trucks and girls like to play with dolls, these sorts of things. These are socialized into us, right? They're just socialized into us. And what I argue in the video, it's a short video, but it's a good one. I basically just say, this sounds very strange because we observe these sorts of differences even in other animals, like other primates and things like that. And all the other mammalian species out there have these same sorts of behaviors. And it seems very weird to postulate that this somehow just evolved out of humans uniquely and specifically, and then we just somehow, for nefarious reasons, culturalized this exactly the same way we would see it in nature back into our children. That's just the most ad hoc argument you can ever make. So I kind of criticize that. I think that was a fantastic video, 8 minutes of awesomeness. I did some other stream clips. So I talked about, in one, I said, atheist thinks Sodom had pregnant women, and like a laughing emoji. Yeah, we got Godly Nipple here. He's my biggest fan now. I love this. This is awesome. Anyway, we had some atheists in the comments not really understanding the point of the video. Again, it's a very goofy video, lots of memes in it that people, I guess that was a little lost on them, and that's fine. Maybe there's just a miscommunication, but basically they were saying, are you really saying there weren't any pregnant women? There was Lot's daughters in there and his wife, so there were women. How could you say that there weren't pregnant women? Well, number one, those were immigrants, so I don't think that's really a great example. We don't have any recorded instances of there being any women who would have been pregnant in the city. Now, as I said in the video, again, it's like, guys, you got to listen to the video. You got to listen. I say it in the video. I literally said, there probably were some pregnant women. I wouldn't be surprised if there were. But the point of the video wasn't to say that there literally weren't any. The point was just to laugh at the fact that Brandon from Mindshift was saying that God had destroyed all these pregnant women. And his prime example for that was to use the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. Like, you could not have come up with worse examples than those for cities that he would have destroyed with pregnant women. So again, it wasn't meant to be a substantive response. It was just meant to be kind of funny. Like, look at how he used this bad example. It was just kind of fun. My other big video was no U-turn signs are now homophobic. I think that was a good one. It was kind of a quick commentary, but Still good. I also stand by the Kristi video I made. I think that was great. Um, Even despite the criticisms, I think it turned out really, really well. So I'm proud of that one. That's probably my favorite video I've made. And then after that, the most lethal argument against feminism. And then maybe after that, my favorite video is probably the truth about when life begins, my very first video on the channel. I think I did an exceptional job with that. I think it turned out great. I think a lot of my shorts were funny. Again, go check out my funniest shorts playlist. I think that was fun. We also had some great live streams this year. I think it was fantastic. We had such a great time. We had things like, in fact, let me change my banner here. Yeah, so we had things like responses to one YouTuber with, I think, over 1 million subscribers, Dr. Jennifer Lincoln, when she was freaking out about the IVF ruling in Alabama. I made a video on that, and I made a live stream about that. I thought that was kind of fun. We did a video criticizing a fellow pro-lifer for, I think, or I guess he calls himself an abolitionist, just showing that I think he could have done better, criticizing his pro-choice opponent, because I think he saw it as sort of a win, but I was so appalled by the outcome of the discussion that he had that I figured I have to show what he's doing wrong. Now again, I think Hayden Rodia is awesome. I think he's doing great work, and I'm certainly doing much better than I am in that front. But I think that there are some things that he could learn. Then we had probably my favorite guest of all time. I'm so glad I got to meet her, Katie Faust, to talk about IVF ethics. She was fantastic. I only had her for like 30 minutes, but the video ended up being like 42 minutes because she was like running super late or something. No, it wasn't that she was running late. It was like there was just some technical difficulty stuff. I don't know. Something happened. It wasn't anybody's fault. It was just, okay, just a little misunderstanding or something. And we ended up getting started like way late. And then she ended up staying later than she said. So I think she stayed like an hour, even though she said she only had like 30 minutes. But she seemed fine with it. She had a great time. I had a great time. I think that's awesome. I'd highly recommend that video if you want to learn about IVF and adoption and things like that. She was raised by two women, but she has some interesting views on like parenthood and all this stuff. Very fascinating speaker. I recommend her work. And then we did a live stream on 9 game-changing tactics for persuasion with a wonderful professor of rhetoric, Brandon Knight. He was cool. We had a fun time with him. I just had a fun time overall with that. I had a whole clip I made from that live stream, which with the memes and the certain things like that, it ended up being, let's see, how long was the video? It ended up being 13 minutes. And that was on Kairos and Mythos. In school, we learn about ethos, pathos, logos, but in that video, he actually goes over that there's 2 more. There's Kairos and Mythos, and we explore what that is. What is Kairos? What is Mythos? Go check out that video for more. I'll link it for you there. And then, oh boy, we had another celebration just before this one, which was the Quran's 100th birthday. That was fantastic. That was like a huge live stream. It's currently got 444 views as of when I'm talking about it right now. That was about the 100th anniversary of the Cairo edition of the Quran, also known as the Hafs Quran. Many Muslims claim that the Quran has been unchanged since it was written down first, and that's not true. And we go over why that is and why the last time there was any changes to it was in 1924, on the exact date of the video that I put out, the live stream that I put out. I think it was like April 10th. And then they even made some additions after that, like some edits even after that. So that wasn't even technically the last time it was changed. And that's fine, but it flies in the face of what Muslims claim. And that's just simply not true. And now, of course, we're having our 1-year celebration. So this is another celebration. I like having these. These are fun. It's fun to hang out with y'all. even if I'm too small to get too many people, in the live chat, but that's fine. So anyway, maybe I'll move on to videos I'm going to make in the future. So I might as well start off with a goofy one. Plenty of people actually thought this was funny in my posts, my community posts. Go check out my community posts. I'm always posting something funny there, just to give you a laugh. But I wrote in a community post, I might have to do a video on how Mormons are using ads of hot chicks to tempt us into their cult. These ads are out of control. Ah. And then I posted a picture of one of the ads, and has a very attractive woman on it. And I've been noticing these ads everywhere. These are all over the place. It was bigger like a month ago, but they have like these ads of like these 20-year-old gals, oh, come join us down at the Church of the Latter-day Saints. Oh, it's so good. And so I might make kind of a goofy, memey, not serious video on, don't be tempted. We need to, we need to stand against this, stuff like that. It won't be a serious video, but it might just be kind of a fun goof around video. I think that's fun. All right, what else? Yeah. All right, I'll just talk about some of the other videos I have in mind. So, okay. So again, as I said, I might upload that pro-life apologetics presentation. I think that would be fun. Oh, wait, look at this. Mormons using their 10 wives for the ad. Exactly. Well, I'm thinking when I'm watching these ads, they have like ones where there's like two like 20-year-old girls like saying like, oh, come join us at the Church of Latter-day Saints. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if that came to my door, I'd be like, so wait, if I convert, do I get to marry both of you? Or like, how does this work? And I mean, like, yeah, like, I don't know. I mean, if that happened to me, I don't know, guys, I might literally have to convert, because I asked my girlfriend the other day. I said to her, well, honey, would it be okay, like, if we got married, like, could I have like some concubines? And she said no. So, I don't know her theology or what, but I think that's unfair. I think if Solomon got to have like 300 concubines, I should at least have like one. I mean, that's in the Bible. So, I mean, basically at that point, you have to do that. So, I mean, there you go. Anyway, though, I think what we need to do is get hot chicks in our religion. So we should go to some modeling agencies and just start converting like crazy. Just do all of our missions work in modeling agencies, and then we'll be able to make ads and say, hey, yo, come to church, yo. We got the hotties over here. And there you go. And we could, do something for the ladies too. We got to go to the men's, Oh my goodness, concubines for sale. No, we're not going to sell anyone. We're not going to sell them. That's not okay. Godly nipple hair. Come on. I am both, shall we say, disturbed and curious about what exactly godly nipple hair looks like. I mean, is it like made of gold? Is it like I don't even know. We have Jason. Jason, by the way, I sent you the link if you want to say hi, pop in just for even just a minute. That's totally cool. But yeah, here's my good friend Jason from Dear Well Christian. We've done some collaborations. You go subscribe to him if you are interested in like news from a Christian perspective. He does a lot of the kind of trial stuff lately anyway. He's been doing a lot of the big trial stuff. Probably go back to like regular news though too soon. But yeah, if you like legal news particularly, come check him out. He's awesome. We had a good time, and I hope we can collab again sometime. That might be fun. Just pop back in and maybe do another Brandon video. I know he used to like those, but now he's kind of moving to different content. But he's got so many videos. He's got 20K subscribers, over 20K now. So that's awesome. Go support him. And yeah, in fact, Jason's such a good buddy. I even said, hey, I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers within a year. And he said, oh yeah, we'll just make a quick video about your channel, and I'll be happy to, advertise it, on my channel, let people see it. If they want to subscribe, sweet, they'll be happy. And I know I have a lot of subscribers from his channel, so we have a lot of cross play there. But it turns out I didn't even need that, at least not yet. because I, sorry, I'm just looking at the notification. I actually went way over that with my last video, with my Kristi video. I got like 20 subscribers. I don't even know what it was. If I hadn't gone and not deleted, but privated that video, I probably could have gotten like up to 250 easy. I think I could have gotten 250 subscribers. That would have been fantastic. But I'm up to currently, as of right this instant, 213 subscribers. So by midnight, if I can get more, I'll post that later. But yeah, oh, he says we're in the car. He'll be home in 20 minutes. So, okay, well, hey, if you want to stop by, feel free. You can pop in. I'll let you advertise your channel and just, you can catch up. Doesn't have to be a big thing. Doesn't have to be, some gigantic, whoa, like stop by for an hour. If you only have like 5 minutes, that's totally cool. So there we go. We making number with this stream. Yes, exactly. I'm up to 213 subscribers. So hopefully by the end of this, by the end of today, we will be able to get even higher. So that'll be an awesome record. Maybe I'll do a count every year. My goal for this next year is to get up to 500. I think that'll be extremely easy. The more subscribers you have, the more well-vetted you look, and the more well-vetted you look, the more likely people are to subscribe, because they're like, oh, he's got like 200 some subscribers. If 200 people think he's good, then yeah, he's probably checked out. He's probably good. Versus like 50 subscribers. Well, okay, who is this guy? Some like dead account or something like that? No. So that'll be good. I think I'll easily make 500. And if I do, maybe I'll even make it to 750. Who knows? That would be awesome. If I have if I have even just a few viral videos like the last one, that will be incredible. I'll easily make it to 500 within no time. So I might make another Kristi video. Someone requested it. And when people make a request, I am happy to oblige. So yeah. Ooh, we got a secret idea. I have an idea for you, he says. I'll share it in a minute. Okay, sweet. So yeah, I think that shouldn't be any problem if I have a few more viral videos. So I'll make that Kristi video, I think, that someone requested. I take requests. So if people want to request videos, feel free. I might not do it, who knows, but I'll at least take a peek at it, at least give it a fair shot. So feel free to request videos. That's awesome. They can be a response video. They can be anything. Weirdly enough, my longest regular video, the Kristi video, which was 37 minutes, was actually one of my quickest to make. Yes, it was super memey, which was a lot of work, but because it was a response video, like about half of that was just her video, and the rest was just me recording my response over a screenshot, right, which was the pause of her video. Like pausing on her video was a screenshot. I just take a screenshot, record my response as that's paused, and then fancy it up with a little bit of graphics and some memes and stuff, and there you go. So it was actually really easy. There we go. I request a video that hits 5K views. Well, I think that one would have if I wouldn't have privated it. But if I do another Kristi video, maybe it'll go viral again. Who knows? I think part of the reason why it went viral, though, was because so many atheists were in the comments freaking out. They were going absolutely ballistic. I had another live stream that reached 800 views, 806 exactly, and then I privated it because I think I actually... there was some stuff I would have fixed about it. So I might re-upload that in the future with some edits to it, some changes, or make it into some parts. But that was kind of fun. So yeah. So you got to learn to take the hate, everybody gets the hate. As long as you're trying your best and you just be, trying to be friendly, I think that's good. I think Kristi's awesome. But yeah. You got me driving fast. Well, be safe, Jason. Be safe. Don't be running no red lights here, my man. If I'm ever down in Georgia, I'll definitely shoot you an email. I'd love to hang out with you or something. I know he's Atlanta, Georgia. So that would be awesome. Maybe I'll have to take a vacation down there sometime. That would be awesome. That would be super cool. Hang out with Jason. I could be in his studio. He's got an awesome studio now, y'all. Totally awesome. So check him out. He's really going places. You know, you gotta start small. You gotta start in the basement, and then you move your way up, and soon enough, you got yourself an empire. But what I will say is, I was about to say something. I forgot what it was. Oh yeah. I mean, guys, ask any questions you want. We already got one question, which was, how did I choose my name for my channel? I'll talk about that soon enough at the end. But ask literally any question you want. Like, it can be literally anything. It can be, womb, why do you hide your face on your live streams? Is it because you're an ugly, pathetic loser who lives in his mom's basement? You can ask that if you want to. I mean, if that's what you want to ask, go right ahead. You can ask, why is the sky blue? You can ask about a passage of the Bible, like, oh, I don't get this. What's your take on it? You could be an atheist or something. You can ask me, like, what's the best argument for Christianity? Or, like, what's the best, why do you believe in this Abrahamic religion over the others? Why don't you believe in the others? Or, like, what's the best argument for each of the Abrahamic religions, or what's the best argument for atheism, or like whatever. Like, just ask whatever. Like, I don't care. Ask me what my favorite snack is. I mean, it really, it could be something deep. What's the meaning of life? Or it could be, you know, what's the shape of purple? I mean, anything you want. So feel free to drop those in the chat. But it's been such a pleasure hanging out with people, and I can't thank Jason at Turbo Christian enough. He got me, like, I don't even know how many. Who knows? Maybe 20 something subscribers, maybe more. I don't know. And that was really valuable early on because I was like at like 20 subscribers at the time. So I know he got me up to like 45 one time. So that was super helpful. That, he's just a good buddy. If you want someone to help you out, I mean, I reached out to him like, hey, would you want to do like an interview? I'm just trying to like grow my channel, and you seem pretty cool. I like your stuff. And he was like, yeah, well, I don't know, maybe we could do that. I'd like to get to know you a little better. And he said, here's a video I'm gonna do on this guy named Brandon. Let me hear your thoughts. And I sent him back like basically this big essay on all the things I would have said. And I guess he was very impressed by it. And I said, yeah, if you want to use it, that's fine. Just give me credit for it. And he's like, no, you got to come on and say this. Are you kidding me? I'm like, oh, sweet. And before you know it, I'm on a live stream. Oh my goodness. And then people said, because he does all these Brandon videos, people said, there's literally one comment where they said, Jason, this was the best Brandon video I've seen. Yeah, this is the best one. You have to have Womb back on again. And so he did. And we did another Brandon video. So yeah, I think that'll be awesome. Speaking of Brandon, I actually have one video I'm going to make. I'm going to do a response to his criticism of the book of Job. Unfortunately, I had planned to do this like 6 months ago, but I guess I just never got around to it. I literally have his video chopped up and ready to respond to in a live stream. I just need to sit down and do it. Unfortunately, I did all this stuff about what would we say? Like, I did all this. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the comments. I did all this research on the book of Job. I did like 100 hours of research, probably maybe more, on the book of Job. And I was like ready to go. And yeah, and I just never got around to it. So now I forgot it. So maybe I might have to go and do all the research over again. Who knows? But I'll do that response. I think his criticisms were very weak. I think they were shallow. I think there's a lot we can learn from it. And then since I've studied it, and I've been studying it in Bible study as well recently, I think it would be great to maybe even do some Bible studies with you guys on my lives. I don't want to clutter my live stream section with small informal videos like this, but I think that would be kind of fun. Bible study with Womb. I think that'd be cool. We could go through the book of Job. I could do it pretty quickly. I wouldn't do like a super in-depth one unless people really wanted that. Like, no, go chapter by chapter. Okay, sure. But I would probably do it in like, I don't know, like it can be broken down at most into like 17 sections, maybe at most. But you could probably break it into, smaller amounts than that. with more content per episode. But I think that would be kind of fun if I get enough subscribers that people want to come and join me with that. Like if I can get like 50 people in the chat or something, or 20 people in the chat, then maybe I would do that. But until then, maybe I'll hold off. But anyway, I'm going to do a response to Job. That'll be awesome. Like I said, pro-life apologetics presentation. I recorded the Q&A for it, so I might upload that. I'm also doing a collaboration with another YouTuber, the Contemplating Christian. I recommend you go check them out. They're a small YouTube channel. I think they're over 500 subscribers, so they're still small. But we were going to talk about Aquinas and the law, and I have a background in understanding the law, so I know Jason's going to be like flipping out hearing that. What? Because I know he's been doing all the legal stuff lately, but I don't feel qualified enough. That's why I never reached out to Jason with that. He's like, I need to get some people who know the law. Like, I don't know anything about the law that he's studying with his channel. I mean, if he really, really wants me on, I can come on. I'm happy to help a brother out anywhere I can. But anyway, we're going to talk like a philosophical approach to the law. I need to read a dissertation that one of them wrote on that, and we'll be joining to do that. So I'll upload that on my channel. That'll be super cool. And I think it'll be a good time. So hopefully that goes well. I'll pray it goes well. Contemplating Christian is a good channel. We will also be having Samuel Green back on eventually. I know we'll have to. I had him on for the Quran 100th birthday stream. We will have him back on to talk about his method of evangelizing to Muslims, as well as his book. I'm reading through his book right now. Excellent. His book is called Where to Start with Islam by Reverend Samuel Green. Very good, especially chapter 10, if you're reading through the Quran like I am, to understanding where events are happening, because the Quran is a very disjointed book. The Quran is like, it's not like the Bible where it's chronological roughly. It's 114 chapters, all of which are like out of order, and the content within the chapters is all out of order. Like chapter 3 is pretty much one of the most organized. It's like 4 sections, all from different points in Muhammad's life. And sometimes you go through a chapter and like a single verse will be from a totally different place from the rest of them. So it's more topically organized, very disjointed and confusing. So you need to read a lot of background about the Quran, and that chapter 10 of his book, is very helpful in understanding, oh, here's the battle of Badr, and here's the battle of Uhud, and they won this battle or they lost this battle, and that's why it kind of sounds like, oh, Allah's giving them encouragement here because they just lost a battle. Okay, I'm kind of getting it. It's kind of helpful. So, and it's great for ministering to Muslims. So if you want to learn more about that, that's awesome. I also had a great time this year. Coming back to content I did earlier, I met Samuel Green at a Ministry to Muslims conference that I attended. I even helped them run their stream for a little bit, which was kind of fun. And I also met Tony Costa. So I might have him on. I'd really, really, really love to have him on. He's so smart. You guys have to subscribe to him. He is Tony Costa / Toronto Apologetics. I think it's Toronto Apologetics / Tony Costa. Go subscribe to him. He's so awesome. He's so smart. But Samuel Green, I'll have him on again to talk about his book and his method of reaching Muslims. He has so much interesting stuff to say on that. Wow, he's a genius. And then I learned from him that he also ministers to Hindus. And that is it's a very niche part of apologetics. Like, how often do you meet a Hindu, right? But that is super, super important if you are someone who knows Hindus, because there's like no information on it. So I would love to have him on to talk about how do you minister to a Hindu? How do you evangelize to them? How do you tell us about their religion? What do they believe? And what are the things that interrupt us? So yeah. And then I'm also working on a commentary, and I see Jason has just arrived, so I'll let him set up and he'll give me the thumbs up when he's ready to come in. But I'll just say, to wrap up the Quran stuff, that I am doing a Quran commentary that'll come out in like a number of maybe a year or so, maybe more. It's going really slow, but I gotta study. There's a lot you gotta study. You can't just put out a video and not have studied it. And then the last few videos that I'm going to make this year, I might make some stuff on just basic Christianity for new believers, or if you just want to learn about the religion, like what the heck is baptism? Like, what is that? Or like, what is like the Old Testament? What is that? What is that for Christians? Like, I hear some Christians say it's not legit. Some say it is. Like, what does that mean? So I might do some like just some basic background on that. And then finally, I will also probably be making at some point a series on the theories of conflict, and using the movie 12 Angry Men to talk about that. And I think that would be useful for apologetics because it helps us understand what creates conflict and what creates tension between different people and how we can avoid that in our conversations so we can have productive, healthy, fun conversations. All right, let's bring on my brother Jason. Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
what's happening, man? Grace and
Hey,
peace. How are you?
hey, thanks for coming on, man. This is awesome. We'll have to collab at some point soon.
Oh, just
Maybe I'll pop on again. But yeah.
send up the bat signal whenever you want to come on. You're welcome to come on. Take my comment down because I'm not driving fast
Yeah,
anymore.
we got Godly Nipple Hair. What a name for that one, man. I mean,
That
oh
is
my
pretty
goodness.
wild. That's pretty wild.
But tell us
Hey,
about your channel and tell us about like what have you been working on so people know.
okay, cool. Appreciate it. My name is Jason from Dear Woke Christian, and primarily my channel has been known to address Black Lives Matter, social justice, and critical race theory from a biblical perspective. And recently, however, I've kind of shifted and been talking about legal aspects because they've been all in the news. I live here in Atlanta. There's two humongous legal cases going on here in Atlanta, and they just kind of captured my attention. And I just asked my audience, do they want to hear me go over these things? And the resounding yes was heard. So now I give social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective. And I still will talk about wokeness, or I still will talk about Black Lives Matters or social justice as they come up because they're all over the place. You don't even have to look far. They're there. So I do address those, but primarily my channel for the most part right now in the season that it's in, I've been talking about legal things, aka the law, crime, justice, courtrooms, and the such like that. So don't be surprised if you see me interviewing an attorney or doing a live stream of a court case, those kind of things like that. Because people want to, what I'm finding out is a lot of people want to discuss these things. They want a good place to have a conversation about it. And I always tell them, hey, I'm a pre-K law student. I don't know anything. So we're all learning together. And I've had lawyers pop in my chat, lawyers come on to discuss, email me, so on and so forth. They're very, very kind to make sure that people understand. Because a lot of people, we understand, we have a semblance of right or wrong. I don't think we have a semblance of legal and illegal. And I think that's where a lot of people have seen the tension, as you were saying. So that's what I've been doing on my channel.
That's awesome. Hey, you know what? Heads up. The Daily Wire has Matt Walsh, he did that What is a Woman? He's
Yep.
coming out with a new one called like Am I a Racist? And it's going to be in theaters, but it's only like in theaters on like September, I think it's 15th, I think. So
Yep.
just a heads up, might be something to check out. I
It might
think
be
your
worth
audience
it.
might enjoy that. I can't believe this. So you know who Robin DiAngelo is, right?
I know who Robin
Big
is. Lord, I know
critical
who Robin is.
race lady. She wrote that White Fragility
White
book.
fragility.
He
Yeah.
got her to be in the documentary, but she doesn't know who he is.
That's
So, like
hilarious.
in the trailer for it, you might want to review the trailer. That would be fun. She says, "Oh, what's your name again?" And he says, "Matt." And he's like wearing like a wig and some glasses or something, like so she can't recognize him.
Okay, now I gotta
And
go
and
look
he
it up.
says, "Yeah, I'm Matt." And she says, "Okay, just wanted to make sure you weren't someone weird. You can never be too careful these days." And that's how they end the trailer. I think that was so hilarious.
Let me.
So
I
I'm
will pull it
definitely
up.
seeing that movie.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm definitely seeing that one. But yeah, I would
So
love to come on and talk about CRT anytime or whatever. Just
absolutely.
wokeness. That's fun.
So Womb, if you don't mind, I want to shift gears a little bit in our conversation.
Okay.
Can you help me? And why did you take down your Kristi video?
Oh, I took it down just temporarily. It's back up now. But basically, like like I said, the whole video was meant like I expected it to get like 35 views, and it
Mm-hmm.
got like 1,300. And I was
Mm-hmm.
getting all these like hate comments and stuff. I was like, and I was a little annoyed with like getting a notification on my phone buzzing like every 5 seconds. And I
Okay.
probably, in retrospect, I probably should have just maybe like kept it up or something, but
Turn off
I
the
don't know. I
notifications.
was worrying that people were saying stuff about it. I'm like, are these legitimate criticisms? And then, and then I realized, yeah, I think some of these are overblown. And then the other reason why was because, like I said, I made that one tiny error about Brandon, and I was trying to see, is there a way I can like edit this out maybe? And I figured I couldn't really, at least not without it kind of looking weird. So I just decided like, I'll just put it in the description and then people just see it. So that's what I did.
Got you.
But yeah, it was a lot of fame all at once. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Like,
Can I run the risk of sounding like I'm, trying to be your senior or try to tell you what to do?
No, yeah, go right ahead. You are the senior. You're 20K.
Unless the Lord God tells you, don't take another video down.
Okay.
If you put a video up and it does complete and it goes, because that sounds like it's viral for you, if
Right.
I'm understanding correctly. You don't take down a viral video. You stoke the flame. You throw raw meat on the flame, but on the video, but you do not take a video down again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you do that again, now I would tell you, like, again, and another thing that I'm doing, Womb, is I'm trying to become the content creator that I needed when I first started YouTube.
Right.
So I needed me to come by and grab me by the neck and say, hey, you got 50 views. You need to go get 250 next time. That's why I said my challenge to you is a video that hits 5,000 views. That's my challenge for you. So back to the point. I would take that Kristi video. I would leave it up. I would maybe, if you need to go through and edit out the Brandon part, that's fine. But I'm making that video better. I'm gonna find a way to make this video better, because if your video went viral for your sake with 1,500 views, they're saying that 1,500 people watched it. Is that fair?
Yeah.
That's their way of saying that this video added value. Hate views work just as well as love views, okay? And I told you, I think we talked about this. Atheists will watch your video more than Christians will.
Yeah.
And they'll watch it more intently. They'll watch it 2 or 3 times because they're trying to find the errors in your arguments and so on and so forth. Don't take a video down. They're telling you we like this type of content.
Right. Well, yeah, and that's the one thing. It's like, and I talked about this at the very beginning, the idea of like fame hitting you too fast. That
for
can
sure.
happen. Like I said to myself, I said, you know what? If this video gets 35 views, I will be happy. 35 in a few days. Gangbusters, So it's like, it's definitely one of those crazy things for sure. But yeah, I will take that advice in the future. But it's just like one of those things. I'm like, man, maybe I started self-doubting, and then I'm like, you know what? I watched it again. I'm like, this isn't really that bad. I mean, I could see some misunderstandings, but this is pretty good. So I put it back up. I'm like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, don't
so I
take
won't
those
do
down.
that again, Jason.
Yeah, don't do it. Now you can go back since you've been up for a year, you can go back and look at maybe some of your earlier videos and say, hey, I didn't know what I was doing editing wise. I didn't know what I was doing with graphics or adding memes to it. I've gotten better as an editor or as a content creator. I can redo that video. Let me redo it, or maybe clean it up. Again, some of my earlier videos, they're pretty bad. Pretty bad. I've gone through and found 10 good minutes out of a pretty bad video, re-uploaded the 10 minutes, and it's done great. And the other video's still up. So don't ever, don't take down your video just because and again, if you think it's just doing too well and it's just doing too great, just quiet your notifications, call me, we'll talk, and we'll celebrate as you hit, 10,000 views, 20,000 views, 100,000 views. We'll talk through it together, but don't take the video down. Leave the video.
Good. No, you know what, Jason? You are welcome to give me advice anytime, because I really do appreciate that. I think that's one of the things that you add value to as a YouTuber. I know you've done, even like last year, I missed it, but I could maybe I'll get it next year. You did that whole stream where you had a bunch of YouTubers on, and you were like, hey, what's your new stuff for this year? It was kind of basically what I'm doing right now, but it was with like 5-10 people.
Yep.
And like, you're there to like help out. We're here to like give advice to each other. So it's like, I love the community. Definitely go subscribe to Jason. He's awesome.
I appreciate you,
He'll
man.
take you under his wing and just cool. So yeah.
I appreciate it. Now, I see you got some questions popping up, so I will keep listening. I am
Okay.
going to, we were out and about making our way home. I said, oh, I need to get home and chop it up a little bit with Womb to Tomb. That's why I was saying I was driving fast. But I did not run any red lights.
Good, 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 good.
Well,
All
man,
right.
thanks so much for having me, man. Thank you. And you know where to find me when you need me.
Absolutely. Thanks
All
for
right.
stopping by,
You
Jason.
got it, man. Take care, friend.
Bye-bye. All right. So looks like we don't have too many questions here. I'm going to look for that other one from earlier, which was from our friend, Godly Nipple Hair. Quite the name, as I already pointed out. Let's see. He asked, let me see here. I'll find it. I just want to put it up on the screen. Well, anyway, I can't, I don't see it anymore. But someone basically asked, how did you get your name? Like, what was the deal with how you came up with Womb to Tomb Apologetics? So I'm pro-life, as I already explained. And so basically the idea behind it was just like it's a pro-life slogan. So we're going to protect life from womb to tomb. At the end of the life, you go to your tomb. And that's basically where I got it. Now, if you look in my community posts section, I found in the Bible, there is actually a quote in Job where he says something about from womb to tomb. So I put that and highlighted that. I thought that was kind of fun that I found that. But that's basically where the name comes from. It also was kind of the best out of the options that I had. I did a quick brainstorming, came up with some ideas. I think that one was fun because people like that name. I mean, I can't tell you how many people have said, I'm going to check out your channel just because of that name. That name is cool. Womb to tomb. Like, dang, I wish I would have come up with that. People are saying that. So it's been a good, successful name. I probably got like 10 subscribers just from that name alone, just from people seeing the name. So that's awesome. I wish I would have invited Albert, the scripture plug, on because he's cool too. He subscribed for that reason as well. In fact, actually, let me see. Albert the plug, he calls himself. But he's cool. Maybe he has an email. I can email him right now. Oh, he does. Let me check out. Maybe I'll send him an email. Maybe he'll pop in. Who knows? But anyway, that's where I got the name from. Was from that phrase in the pro-life community. So, it's a good name. I think it rhymes. And I'd also like to say, this is a little bit off topic, but it's on the same idea, which is that, like, why is it that all of the let me write this email here quick. Let's see here. All right, I sent it. Okay. So basically, why is it that all the cool words for like all the words for like where you bury people are super cool? Like grave. Isn't that an awesome name? Grave. Like imagine having that as your last name. Grave. Gustav Graves is like the name of a Bond villain. Like that's cool. Like tomb. Like is that not the coolest word you've heard? Or catacomb or sarcophagus or sarcophagi. Like those are awesome words. I don't know. The guy who named all those words must have been pretty awesome. Must have really, I don't know. He must have really liked death. I don't know. Just kind of a funny thing to point out. But tomb, it's a cool word. Then we have one from our atheist friend, Nitty. He is an atheist, or at least he's currently an atheist. I don't know what his whole background is, but he asked, okay, what was your initial reason for being Christian? So I actually grew up Christian. So like I'm not like a convert to it. That being said, there are like a number of interesting things, and I won't go super in depth. This is just like a really casual dive into some of the stuff, and maybe I'll make some videos on these things. But, I started becoming interested in apologetics, right, when I had an atheist who was picking on me in school. And, someone was picking on me. Some of it was like legitimate arguments and questions, just asking, like, why do you believe what you believe and stuff like that. And again, maybe it was hostile in nature, but it helped me grow because he would ask me questions and I didn't really know the answers to them. And I'm like, well, gosh, I got to figure this out. Got to get some answers to these questions so I can come back to them. And I never really got them in time to like always respond to him, but I was able to search up some answers and I found this guy, William Lane Craig. And Craig is awesome, uh, probably the best Christian apologist around today. And I was just fascinated by this stuff, like deductive reasoning. Like, what is this? I've never seen this before. I was not a sophisticated person. I had never looked into this. And to be fair, some of the stuff, I mean, I'm not like some, expert on anything. Um, but I mean, that's just some of the stuff that I found, and I was looking through it, and I guess I just kind of felt it rather compelling. And Nitty says, well, that's not, or that's usually how it works. You believe on poor epistemology and then develop it post hoc. That's generally true of a lot of things. I agree with you there. A lot of people, he says, I did the same once, right? I think that's true of a lot of people. You grow up a Muslim, or you grow up an atheist, or you grow up whatever, and you don't really, like, no one's ever asked you, or like, maybe you're conservative or liberal or whatever the group belief is, right? People generally, as a general rule, and he says, I'm not saying all, which is true, but just as like a general observation, a lot of people, they grow up with something, and then they find out later on what they believe. And there are a lot of people who change their mind many times, like Apostate Prophet. He's a good guy on YouTube. He started out as a Muslim, radical Muslim, and then he changed his mind and became an atheist. And now he's changed his mind as he's looked into the evidence even more, and now he's become an agnostic. And his wife just converted to Christianity maybe like last week or something, and he might even become a Christian. So like, there are people who never change their mind their entire lives, and then there are people who uh, change their mind like a ton of times. And I wouldn't say necessarily that changing one's mind makes one smarter necessarily. I mean, I've changed my mind on many things. I've just never changed my mind on specifically Christianity as a whole being true. I've changed my beliefs within Christianity many times, about all sorts of parts of the Bible. So like, I haven't stayed stagnant. Like, I am a very, very different person than I was back then. But I've never found that Christianity itself was untrue, like as a whole, right? So, and maybe one day I'll talk more about my development of my beliefs and changes that I've made. Some of them very, very major, including ones related to Christianity. But I've definitely developed as a person since then. But it's interesting. Um, Kraba, he's just joking. I know this guy. He says, I convert religions for breakfast. Yeah. But yeah, and then we have, let's see. Yeah, he says, I'd worry about the content and reason for someone going back and forth on such a serious proposition many times. Can you flip-flop a bunch between jobs, marriage? So yeah, like I guess that's a good point too. You could also flip-flop too many times, right? You could, there's like people who stay stagnant and never change their view, and then there's people who change it all the time. And it's like, well, hold on, like just sit down and like think about it. Although I think it's, I don't criticize people who are atheists their whole lives, Muslims their whole lives. All I want to do is just like say, hey, what do we think the evidence looks like? And some people come to different conclusions, but that's what I look into. I think there are some really good arguments for atheism, and I'll probably go over those in another video sometime. But I got to wrap it up pretty soon here, probably within a few minutes. But basically, I mean, yeah, I think there's good reasons for believing in all sorts of things. So, we just got to weigh through the evidence. We got to take a peek and see where we think it leads us. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up now. Make sure to subscribe, and that will be awesome. Thank you for your questions, and I will see y'all next time. God bless everybody, and I look forward to the new year ahead. Bye-bye.